On the 20 slides shown below, I present the original photographs of the Second World War from the German archive, which are in my collection. These photos are from my collection department, Wehrmacht on the Eastern and Western Fronts. If you like it, subscribe to my YouTube, like it, so you don't miss the new weekly presentations. If you would like to order 5 inches by 7 inches copies of these photos from the original, you can specify which photos you would like to receive. Laboratory quality. Enjoy your viewing. The Steyr 1500A was quite popular. It was propelled by a Steyr V8 engine with an engine size of 3.5 litres and a power of 85 horsepower, and it had all-wheel drive. The Steyr 1500A/01 with internal spare wheel was manufactured from September 1941 to around August 1942. During the war, the Steyr Type 1500A was manufactured as personnel carrier and as lorry. Steyr made 12,450 vehicles. Abbreviation on the car windshield, OKH. Mean the Oberkommando des Heeres, lit. Upper Command of the Army, abbreviated OKH, was the High Command of the Army of Nazi Germany. It was founded in 1935 as part of Adolf Hitler's rearmament of Germany. OKH was de facto the most important unit within the German war planning until the defeat at Moscow in December 1941. During World War II, OKH had the responsibility of strategic planning of armies and army groups. The General Staff of the OKH managed operational matters. Each German army also had an Army High Command, Army Oberkommando or AOK. The Armed Forces High Command, Oberkommando der Wehrmacht, then took over this function for theaters other than the Eastern Front. Auxiliaries are support personnel that assist the military or police but are organized differently from regular forces. Auxiliary may be military volunteers undertaking support functions or performing certain duties such as garrison troops, usually on a part-time basis. Unlike a military reserve force, an auxiliary force does not necessarily have the same degree of training or ranking structure as regular soldiers, and it may or may not be integrated into a fighting force. Some auxiliaries, however, are militias composed of former active-duty military personnel and actually have better training and combat experience than their regular counterparts. The Flak 30, Flugzeugabwehren 30, an improved Flak 38 were 20 mm anti-aircraft guns used by various German forces throughout World War II. It was not only the primary German light anti-aircraft gun but by far the most numerously produced German artillery piece throughout the war. 1. It was produced in a variety of models, notably the Flak 38, which combined 4 Flak 38 autocannons onto a single carriage. The Sd.Kfz. 10, Sonderkraftfahrzeug, special motorized vehicle, was a German half-track that saw widespread use in World War II. Its main role was as a prime mover for small-towed guns, such as the 2 cm Flak 30, the 7.5 cm Lake, or the 3.7 cm Pak 36 anti-tank gun. It could carry 8 troops in addition to towing a gun or trailer. The Sd.Kfz. 10 was unique among German half-track designs as it used a hull rather than a frame. Power was at first provided by a military version of a Maybach 6-cylinder water-cooled gasoline engine. It had a semi-automatic Maybach Variarex transmission SRG 102-128H, Schaltgetriebe 102-128H, with 7 forward and 3 reverse gears. The driver selected the desired gear and initiated the shift by depressing the clutch. It could attain 65 km per hour, 40 miles per hour, while the cruising speed was 45 km per hour, 28 miles per hour. In 1942 the Luftwaffe limited its vehicles to a non-tactical speed of only 30 km per hour, 19 miles per hour, to extend the life of the rubber track pads. When Adolf Hitler came to power in 1933, Feldgendarmerie were reintroduced into the Wehrmacht. The new units received full infantry training and were given extensive police powers. A military police school was set up at Potsdam, near Berlin, to train Feldgendarmerie personnel. Subjects included criminal code, general and special police powers, reporting duties, passport and identification law, weapons drill, self-defense techniques, criminal police methodology, and general administration. All prospective candidates served at a Feldgendarmerie command after the first term of examinations. Courses lasted 1 year and failure rates were high. In 1935 only 89 soldiers graduated from an initial intake of 219 candidates. Feldgendarmerie were employed within army divisions and as self-contained units under the command of an army corps. They often worked in close cooperation with the Geheime Feldpolizei, English, secret field police, district commanders and SS and police leaders. The 3.7 cm Flak 18/36/37 was a series of anti-aircraft guns produced by Nazi Germany that saw widespread service in the Second World War. The cannon was fully automatic and effective against aircraft flying at altitudes up to 4,200 meters. The cannon was produced in both towed and self-propelled versions. Having a flexible doctrine, the Germans used their anti-aircraft pieces in ground support roles as well. 37 mm caliber guns were no exception to that. With Germany's defeat, production ceased and, overall, 37 mm caliber anti-aircraft cannon fell into gradual disuse, being replaced by the Bofors 40 mm gun and later, by 35 mm anti-aircraft pieces produced in Switzerland. The MG-34, shortened from German, Maschinengewehr 34, or Machine Gun 34, is a German recoil-operated air-cooled general-purpose machine gun, first tested in 1929, introduced in 1934, and issued to units in 1936. It introduced an entirely new concept in automatic firepower, the Einheitsmaschine, universal machine gun, and is generally considered the world's first general-purpose machine gun, GPMG. 5678, both the MG-34 and MG-42 were erroneously nicknamed Spandau by Allied troops, a carryover from the World War I nickname for the MG-08, which was produced at the Spandau Arsenal. The versatile MG-34 was chambered for the full power 7.92 x 57 mm Mauser rifle cartridge, and was arguably the most advanced machine gun in the world at the time of its deployment. The MG-34 was envisaged and well developed to provide portable light and medium machine gun infantry cover, anti-aircraft coverage, and even sniping ability. Its combination of exceptional mobility, being light enough to be carried by one man, and high rate of fire, of up to 900 rounds per minute, was unmatched. It entered service in great numbers from 1939. Nonetheless, the design proved to be rather complex for mass production, and was supplemented by the cheaper and simpler to mass-produce MG42, though both remained in service and production until the end of the war. The Panhard 178, officially designated as Automittrailers Sd.Kfz Panhard Model 1935, 178 being the internal project number at Panhard, or Pan, was an advanced French reconnaissance 4x4 armoured car that was designed for the French Army cavalry units before World War II. It had a crew of 4 and was equipped with an effective 25mm main armament and a 7.5mm coaxial machine gun. A number of these vehicles were in 1940 taken over by the Germans after the fall of France and employed as the Panzersparwagen P204F. For some months after the armistice of June, production continued for the benefit of Germany. After the war-derived version, the Panhard 178B, was again taken into production by France. The Austrian company Steyr was represented in the German Reich with 24,807 registered passenger cars on 1 December 1938. Altogether 1,200 Kugelwagen of the type Steyr 250 were taken over from the Austrian army. The Steyr Type 250 was a reliable car with 5 seats. This one was used by a motorized reconnaissance battalion. The vehicle had a 4-cylinder 25-horsepower Boxer engine. The Pak 36, Panzerabwehrkanone 36, is a 3.7 cm, 37 mm caliber German anti-tank gun used during the Second World War. It was the main anti-tank weapon of Wehrmacht Panzerjäger units until 1942. Developed by Rheinmetall in 1933, it was first issued to the German army in 1936, with 9,120 being available by the beginning of the war in September 1939 and a further 5,339 produced during the war. As the predominant anti-tank gun design in the world during the late 1930s, demand was high for the Pak 36, with another 6,000 examples produced for export and the design being copied by the Soviet Union as the 45mm anti-tank gun M1932, 19K, and by other nations such as Japan.